All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have 359 cop stories. 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on content. Gangs, vice, a lot of gross alerts on vice, so look them up. Smells, sticky floors. Ooh, ooh. I can't unthink them over 40-some years. Okay. In addition to that, we have over 160 questions and answers. Okay, so ask me a question, I'll answer you back directly, and I'll also put it on tape like we're doing now. Now, you want to ask me a question, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com, and I'll answer your questions. Now, our ongoing question right now is, have I ever had experience with dead bodies? Well, 35 years worth, yeah. Okay, we just did a couple of them. Here's another one. Okay, I'm bouncing around as my time on the department because as I remember them, they're coming, and I'm not a book where I can just open up the chronological order. Oh, they're where I am in certain years. I'm just remembering as my old age allows. So I'm way back coming out of the academy, or not even coming out of the academy. I'm still in the academy. 3 months in, you play in the academy. Then 1 month you go in the field, and then you come back for the last month, and then you graduate. That's the way it was back in the 70s. Okay, so I'm in the field, and I'm with 2 senior officers, trained officers. And of course, I'm a recruit, and they know that. And I was kind of young. I was 23, but and they think you got some dumb kid here, which is most of the time we didn't know anything. So we get a radio call, and it's in the downtown Skid Row section. Most cities have Skid Row sections. Poor areas, tough areas, a lot of transits, a lot of people out of work, sleeping on the sidewalks. Every major city has them, and this is the same thing. Okay, so they had several high-rise, I don't say high-rise, hotels that maybe 5, 6 stories high that housed these poor guys. Some girls, but mostly guys. A little literally one bedroom, hot plate, and a toilet. That's all they lived in. Okay, so we get a call here, and I'm in the back seat of this police car, and I'm just in awe of everything. I'm watching everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm a tourist. I got a gun on, but I don't know, what am I going to do with it? So they're telling me the driver's always just driving, and the passenger is the ones that explains to me what's happening because they're trained officers, and so they. Let me go sidetrack. When I became a trained officer. When you get a recruit from the academy, you have to think that down the road, that person if you ignore the guy in the back seat, that's fine. But when he graduates, he's going to be in a squad car next to maybe you. So you probably should tell him as much as you possibly can how things works, because down the road, someone in that level, my level, from the academy, is going to be teamed up with you. Because that's what they do. They teach recruits. So you don't want to shun them, because then he'll remember that, and not he'll ever come back to this guy. But you want to, I did the same thing. You want to kind of butter the bread, said, I'll treat this guy like a human being and not, rag on him too much. And that way when he gets out of the academy, he goes to a regular trained officer, he won't already have a chip in his shoulder saying, well, all these trained officers are a-holes. And no, we're all trying to be together here, and they're trying to groom the younger guys to become officers and then eventually become trained officers themselves. So that's this little side thing. So the driver's driving, the passenger's telling me, here's the call we got. I hear the radio talking. There's women on that radio just continuously, radio operators, just a constant, 1 and 12, whatever. You see all these constant, and how they pick out those calls, I'll never know until I became an officer. Then you hear the girl streaming continuously. Oh, there's our call. It's really weird. It's like radar or something, and all of a sudden you hear the N letter. It's like, or a 5 letter or 6 letter. Oh, that's us. Anyway, so explaining we have a dead body call, and I'm going, oh, okay, that's interesting. So we drive this place. We go up, and he's telling me that this could be a homicide, it could be a suicide, it could be anything. Okay, fine. So I'm new at this, man. I've been here like maybe 3 weeks out in the field. Get to one of the stories. There's a manager there, and he says, "Yeah, I opened the door to check on so and so, and I saw blood when I opened the door, and he's laying on half on the bed, half off the bed, and I backed away and I called you guys. Okay, it's kind of scared me. Okay, fine. So he opens the door, and we go in, and let me show you. Let me show a picture of this. Let me gross alert here. Okay, if you're queasy about things that are gross, dead bodies and stuff, you should leave. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay. Dun, ding, 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 ding. Okay. You walk in. Here's the scene. You walk in the door. Dresser, bed, one little bathroom. As you walk in, there's a pool of blood that is right there in the threshold. And remember, now this isn't from me to the camera, which is about 4 feet. That's how close the bed was to the door. We're not talking about a big room here. The room's probably 12 by 12, okay, like a normal bedroom maybe of your house. There's the bed, single bed. There's a guy kneeling, facing away from the mattress. He's leaned back on the mattress. His chest and neck is almost on, because the bed's up a little bit. So it's this part and here is back on the bed, okay? And his whole front is, of course, covered with blood, and that's where the blood trail's coming from his body, kind of making a right turn that's spread out, and it's coming to the door, okay? So, and we're walking in, we're looking around, you know, and they're shining flashlights, and I'm just the third guy. I'm just standing there like, whoa. And I look closer, and they got the flashlight on his face, and his throat was slit from here to here. Okay, you can see the blood had already stopped flowing, so you could actually see like tendons and arteries and, you know, what do you call it? The throat, the esophagus, all the stuff that's in here, you know, kind of like this, sitting up, you know, blood, just blood. But it stopped bleeding. He stopped bleeding, bled out, basically. Well, he didn't bleed out. The detectives told me he bled all the way to here. I'm not laughing at that. It's ironic. It's not going to bleed any more because his body's holding the blood in. Okay? And they told me later that sometimes the anal will open up, the fluids will come out, but the blood's not going to come out. The blood's, you know, remember, your intestinal tract and all that stuff is in closed system. It's not like a car engine, you know. And so that fluids and excrement will come out most of the time. That's why you get kind of a smell. But the fluids, meaning the blood and all this other stuff, stops at the last time there was an opening. Does that make sense? You know, it's just sitting there. So I'm looking at this, right? So they say, "What do you think, kid? How pretty good?" And I'm going, "Yeah, wow, look at that." And I think they were looking for me to have the kind of reaction. And I'll tell you later why they expect a reaction out of me. So I'm going, "Wow, that's awesome." And then the detectives rolling in. These guys that handle these type of things. There's detectives that handle suicides, old people dying, people getting killed, and then the dogs come out and eat them. That's another story. It's horrible. But this is what they do, and I don't want that job. Oh, I promise when I'm a detective, I will not do that. I don't. It's okay to go and handle a homicide or something, but when you see people that can't help themselves, elderly, or this gentleman was they're all winos, derelicts and stuff, it's kind of sad. You know, I don't know how long I can handle seeing that. I mean, not every day, you know. And so, anyway, he's probably in his 60s. So anyway, so the detectives get there, and I'm just listening to everything. I mean, I had my ears are like, you know, elephant ears. I wanted to hear everything these guys talked about. This area was so new to me. It's unbelievable. So they're talking this, they're talking that, and, you know, and then cop humor, you know, because I said, well, is this the right amount of blood, you know? And, oh, no, they explained about the blood up there. Oh, wow. And one of the other guys goes, well, you know, we got an ice pick. We could show you. We could hit his stomach and it'll all come out. Okay, to me, that wasn't really funny, okay, because it's just somebody's friend, family, husband, who knows? So I kind of went, you know, so anyway, so I'm asking them, well, is this a homicide? Because I don't know. And they're talking like it's very low-key, calm, because usually I've been later on when I become a homicide, help with homicide, that everything's kind of critical. Everything's in a hurry. You know, you need to put out a broadcast, you know what's going on, looking for suspects. They were just kind of laid back. The detectives were. And okay. And he goes, no, this is a suicide. Look down by his leg. I'm looking down there, and there's a straight razor that in the old days were used to shave men. You know, it's about that long with an ivory or plastic handle where they used to shave guys. So it's laying there, and it's all covered in blood. It's still in his hand. And can you imagine, beer bottle or wine bottles everywhere? And I'm looking, well, what happened? And so they're saying, well, we see that, no, these guys have been around a while, 20 years, 25 years. They've seen probably every kind of conceivable suicide ever think of. So one of the older guys, big burly guy, you know, he goes, well, I've seen this, you know, many, many times, kid. He goes, he probably got drunk, tired of life, and just slit his own throat. And being a new guy, I'm going, how can he do that? I don't know if I can even give myself a shot, you know. How can he goes, oh, they're drunk. They'll just keep chugging away until they pass out. What? To me, that was unbelievably bizarre. Now, seriously, he was cut from here to here, and probably this deep. Well, he got all the way almost to the bone. So that means that he was drunk. He just kept hacking until he couldn't hack anymore, or he passed out and he was done. I was just like, you know, and he says, and look, kid, there's no foul play. There's nothing knocked over. Everything was in it's where it's supposed to be. And so I'm asking what I thought were dumb, smart questions, but I don't know. I said, well, could they, you know, come in here and just taken it, like, you know, carefully? He goes, take what? You know, they're answering my question. I go, oh, they don't have nothing. So the coroner gets there, and he goes, and they're having a discussion. So the detective on purpose goes over and goes to the desk drawer, and there's like a wallet up there, takes the wallet off. See the kid, look at the wallet's here. Okay, fine. Opens it up. There's like $3 in the wallet, like $6 in his pocket. Okay. So I'm going, oh, so that's why we know it's not a robbery or a murder, because in these business, and also to get in there, we had to check in with a clerk down below, which kind of like security, wouldn't let anybody in, they're supposed to be there, but that doesn't mean anything, and people can get in anyway. But So I'm like, whoa, learned a lot that night. I learned a lot of stuff. So anyways, I was pretty bloody, pretty bizarre. Okay. So they're telling me things like, about what I told you about the anal unflexes and fluids come out, and they say when the coroner says, yeah, the coroner was the best guy in the room because except for the train officer, he's giving me like a tutorial about what's going to happen next, which is kind of neat because I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying it's very interesting, for somebody who doesn't know anything. He goes, yeah, now we have to put a bag here because when we lean him over, the fluid's going to come out, the blood. And he goes, so we do this, and we have a special bag that the sides go up, and we put them in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and it would sound cold-blooded, but over the years you learn that human body's just like in any other dead animal or body. It's just dead. Fluids are there. It's seeping. It's basically dead weight. It's literally dead weight. So anyway, so he explained that, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I wasn't there when they moved the body. Our role was done. So our sergeant had pulled up, and he's down there watching. And then, when the detectives got there, they're just teaching me some things. They're telling me stuff, and I'm looking, and the sergeant's watching the whole thing. And then we come out, and he says, okay, you guys, you go ahead and go back out there and clear down here. Okay. And the sergeant looked right at me, and he gave my name out, and he goes, hey, you learned something? I said, yeah, a lot. He goes, good. You're out here to learn. Good. Okay, he walks away. So we get in the car, and these guys are still waiting for a reaction. Okay? I've been there with them for like 3 hours. They don't know me. I don't know them. So we get in the car. Of course, this is their running joke. Hey, that was pretty good. Let's get some chili, huh? Let's go down and get some chili at the burrito stand. All right, sounds good. What do you think, kid? Yeah, that sounds good to me. And they get nothing out of me. And when they go, well, how about if I get maybe a hot dog, and stuff like that, and maybe a steak, nice and rare. They're trying to get a rise out of me, and I was not dumb. I figured that right after the first comment. I said, well, that sounds good to me. And the passenger turned around and goes, what's your background? I said, what do you mean background? He said, well, you in the service? Yeah. Where you at? Marines. Oh, okay. The driver looks back and goes, you in Vietnam? I go, yeah. He goes, oh. And then they got quiet for a second. Okay? The whole time they were talking. Okay, they got stripes. They got quiet for a little bit. So we get to the burrito stand, and he goes, so one of them says, I don't remember which one it was. He goes, so this stuff's pretty normal to you, isn't it? I go, oh yeah, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is nothing. Nothing. So we're eating, and now they're asking me about what I've seen, and they look on their faces. I was almost grossing them out. I'm talking about exploding heads and body parts and limbs and trees, and after a bombing attack by F-4 Phantoms and helicopters coming in, they're like, So they told their sergeant, I want this guy tomorrow night. Well, I'm moved around on purpose, and I can't guarantee that. Well, I got 2 other guys the next night. It was nice because I felt like I was an equal as a human and as an officer yet, and that I had experiences too, and since most officers in that era were veterans or friends of veterans, or of course most of us are conservatives anyway, it meshed perfectly well. There's no line seminars or philosophy in these cars. It's just police work. So I felt really good about that. I felt that the future here was people that think this way. People think like me. I'm in the right group of guys. Really am. Or girls now, but even girls too when I have partners. But anyway, that's my dead body call, and I hope to see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.